The night was colder than it had any right to be. The kind of cold that crawls under your skin and settles in your bones. As the single father pulled the thin blanket tighter around his daughter, he heard a soft voice behind him whisper words he never expected to hear. "Can I slip under your blanket? I just can't get warm." He turned around, stunned. Standing there was a woman who looked completely out of place on that broken sidewalk, well-dressed, shivering, and about to change his life forever. Before we begin, if you enjoy emotional, real-life inspired stories about kindness, humanity, and unexpected miracles, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps stories like this reach more hearts. This is your channel name, and we're glad you are here. The man's name was Marcus Reed. He was 34 years old, a single dad, and doing everything he could just to survive. Life hadn't gone the way he planned. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier after a sudden illness, leaving him alone with their 6-year-old daughter, Lily. Marcus worked construction when jobs were available, but winter was always brutal. Work slowed. Bills piled up. One missed paycheck turned into 2, then 3. Eventually, rent notices turned into eviction papers. And just like that, Marcus and Lily found themselves living out of their old pickup truck. Most nights, Marcus parked near a 24-hour grocery store. The lights made him feel a little safer, and Lily liked watching people come and go. He tried to make it feel like an adventure for her. They'd eat peanut butter sandwiches, tell stories, and pretend the truck was a spaceship. But that night was different. The temperature had dropped fast. Marcus had wrapped Lily in their only real blanket and gave her his jacket. He sat in the driver's seat, hands stiff, pretending he wasn't cold at all. That's when he noticed the woman standing nearby. She was tall, maybe in her early 40s, wearing a long coat that looked expensive but clearly wasn't warm enough. Her hair was pulled back neatly, but the wind kept whipping loose strands across her face. She looked lost. Not homeless, just out of place. Marcus watched as she paced, rubbing her arms, clearly debating something. Then she took a few hesitant steps toward the truck. Marcus' guard went up immediately. "When you're homeless, you learn to be cautious. Too many people either look at you with pity or suspicion, sometimes both." She stopped a few feet away and gave a small, embarrassed smile. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "I don't mean to bother you." Marcus nodded, unsure what to say. She glanced toward the truck window, where Lily was fast asleep. I saw your blanket, and I hate to ask this, but I'm freezing. My car broke down a few blocks away and my phone died. I'm waiting for roadside assistance, but it's taking forever." She paused, clearly humiliated by what she was about to say. "Can I slip under your blanket? Just for a few minutes?" "I can't get warm." Marcus was speechless. Here he was, a man with almost nothing, and someone was asking him for help. A woman who looked like she belonged in a warm house, not standing on icy pavement. He looked at Lily, then at the woman. His first instinct was to say no. That blanket was all Lily had. But then Lily shifted in her sleep and murmured, "Daddy?" Marcus swallowed. He quietly opened the truck door and stepped out, pulling the blanket with him. "We can share," he said simply. The woman's eyes filled with tears instantly. "Are you sure?" Marcus nodded. "My daughter's warm. That's what matters." They sat on the curb sharing the thin blanket. The wind cut through everything, but somehow, the moment felt warmer than Marcus had felt in a long time. "I'm Marcus," he said after a while. "Evelyn," she replied. "Thank you. I don't know what I would have done if you'd said no." They talked quietly. Marcus didn't complain or ask for anything. He didn't tell his whole story, just that he was trying his best for his little girl. Evelyn listened, really listened. After about 20 minutes, headlights pulled up. A tow truck. Evelyn stood up quickly. "They're here," she said, relief in her voice. She turned back to Marcus, reaching into her purse. He raised his hand gently. "It's okay," he said. "You don't owe me anything." She froze for a moment, then nodded slowly. "I don't think you understand," she said quietly. "You just reminded me of something I forgot." She walked away, got into her car, and disappeared into the night. Marcus wrapped the blanket back around Lily and climbed into the truck. He assumed that was the end of it, just another strange moment in a hard life. But the next morning, everything changed. Marcus was woken by a knock on his truck window. His heart jumped. Police were the last thing he needed. Instead, he saw a man in a suit and a woman holding a clipboard. "Are you Marcus Reed?" the man asked. Marcus nodded cautiously. "My name is David," the man said. "We're here from Hartwell Industries." Marcus frowned. Had never heard of it. The woman smiled warmly. "Our CEO, Evelyn Hartwell, asked us to find you." Marcus' breath caught. "CEO?" They explained everything. Evelyn Hartwell was the CEO of a major manufacturing company with locations across the country. She had grown up poor herself but had climbed her way to the top. Somewhere along the way, success had made her forget what it felt like to be vulnerable. Until last night. She couldn't stop thinking about the man who had nothing but still gave what little he had. Evelyn had spent the entire night asking questions, and that morning she decided to act. They didn't offer charity, they offered opportunity. Hartwell Industries had an opening for a facilities supervisor. It came with steady pay, health insurance, and training. The company also partnered with a housing program that could help Marcus and Lily get an apartment immediately. Marcus couldn't speak. His knees actually buckled, and he had to sit down on the curb. "Why?" he finally managed. The woman answered gently. "Because kindness should never go unanswered." 2 months later, Marcus tucked Lily into a real bed in their own apartment. Heat hummed softly through the vents. Lily smiled up at him and said, "Daddy, remember when we shared the blanket?" Marcus smiled, tears in his eyes. "I remember, baby." At work, Marcus gave everything he had. He showed up early, stayed late, and treated everyone with respect. Within a year, he was promoted. Not because of who he met, but because of who he was. Evelyn didn't hover or interfere. She simply watched. And every now and then, she'd stop by and say hello. They never talked about that night unless Marcus brought it up. One evening, during a company event, Evelyn pulled Marcus aside. "That blanket," she said quietly, "saved more than just me from the cold." Marcus shook his head. "No, it saved us both. Kindness doesn't always look big. Sometimes it's just a shared blanket on a freezing night. Sometimes it's saying yes when everything in you wants to protect the little you have left. But kindness has a way of coming back around. Not always how we expect. Not always when we're ready. And sometimes the smallest act becomes the turning point of an entire life. If this story touched your heart, remember this. You never know who's standing in front of you or how one simple act of kindness can change everything.